Welcome back to Horror Recaps. My name is Freddy, and in a moment, you're going to listen to a frightening tale narrated by me. Beware, fear awaits you. As the movie begins, we see a local newspaper proclaiming the start of January sales, followed by Lonely Hearts advertisements. We are introduced to Sheila Woolchapel, who is seen sobbing at a bank before leaving for home. She is a divorced, middle-aged bank teller who shares a home with her son Vince, who is in his 20s. Later that evening, Vince's dad calls to speak with him as Sheila is preparing dinner. She is analyzing some old drawings and notes in her drawer when the TV's loud music abruptly draws her attention away. It's an enchanting television commercial for a dress for the annual winter sales event at Dentley & Soper's, a local department store. Just at that moment, Vince arrives back in the living room and puts on his jacket. When Sheila inquires as to his destination, Vince replies that he has been asked to dinner by his father and his new girlfriend. After learning that her ex-husband has started seeing someone else, Sheila heads upstairs to her room. Being divorced and single for some time, she decides it's now time to start dating again and looks for advertising in the local newspaper's Lonely Hearts section. Sheila then climbs the stairs to her room, where she circles a man seeking a date, which grabs her attention. She then takes photos of herself and writes a letter to her date. On her way home from the bank the following day, Sheila notices Vince drawing a portrait of his girlfriend Gwen. That night, after taking a shower, Sheila searches her closet for a dress to wear. She decides on one, but quickly notices that the dress is torn, so she starts looking for another. And while Sheila's at it, Sheila can also hear soft moans coming from her son's room. She decides to check from the upstairs level out of sheer curiosity, and when she peeks, Sheila is momentarily caught gazing at Gwen, who sends her running to her bedroom. The very next day, Sheila receives a voicemail from Adonis, whose advertisement she had previously marked, setting up a date. After work, she gets her hair done at a salon before going shopping for a classy dress at the same neighborhood department store. Sheila is browsing the gowns in the store when Miss Luckmore, an eccentric salesperson, suddenly approaches her. Sheila receives a stunning red dress from Miss Luckmore, who describes it as a seductive garment. Although not exactly Sheila's size, the dress is the perfect fit for her. She resists as well, claiming that she wouldn't typically wear something so provocative, but Miss Luckmore persuades her to buy the dress nevertheless. Sheila appears hesitant at first, but after falling in love with the dress's exquisite, luxurious fabric, she decides to purchase it. Before leaving, Sheila provides Miss Luckmore with her address and contact information, which she then passes to some other person for unknown reasons. Later that evening, Sheila enthusiastically drives to meet her date, Adonis, but much to her disappointment, Adonis proves to be cold, arrogant, and generally uninterested person. So the date quickly comes to an end. After wearing the dress, Sheila finds a peculiar rash on her chest when she arrives home, but she dismisses it as just an allergy. After taking a shower, she resumes looking at the images of potential dates that other men have sent her. Then, she notices Zach, a handsome man who captures her interest right away. Before going to bed, Sheila continues to cut out her photo and send it to this handsome man. Later that night, she is startled and awakened by some unusual noises coming from her closet, but Sheila chooses not to investigate it further. The dress is eventually discovered in Vince's room after Sheila searches her entire bedroom the next morning. Knowing that Gwen simply snatched the clothing from her without asking her permission, Sheila becomes enraged. She then disregards the care labels and places the dress in the washing machine. Nevertheless, it inexplicably malfunctions, and as Sheila attempts to switch the machine off, she injures her hand. The next day, Sheila's managers, Stash and Clive, talk about the specifics of their bank policies. The duo supervises their workforce with a cheesy smile and a poor, dry sense of humor. They then go on to express their concerns about a variety of things, like Sheila's handshake, which they worry is not meaningful enough to convey the company's ethos, or Sheila taking an excessive number of pointless bathroom breaks. Stash and Clive act concerned for her health. While saying this, they are only concerned with earning a buck. Later that day, Sheila goes back to Dentley and Soper's to switch the size of the dress, but Miss Luckmore tells her that the dress is one piece and only comes in one size. Sheila attempts to browse the catalog a short while later, but Miss Luckmore stops her as soon as she reaches the red garment. She continues by saying that the model who wore the red dress for the photo shoot also passed away as a result of some unexplainable circumstances. The following day, Sheila and Zach go out on a date that surprisingly goes well. Zach appears to be more sympathetic and pleasant than her previous date, Adonis. Sheila chooses to date him because she enjoys his demeanor and the way he treats and interacts with her. Vince and Gwen are having sex at home in the meantime, but just as she gets to her peak, the red dress ominously hovers above her, trying to smother her. A few days later, Zach and Sheila go on a walk together. A dog suddenly attacks Sheila, biting her leg and ripping her dress. Yet, when Vince later brings the dress home, he discovers that it has been mysteriously restored. The following day, Sheila's bosses call her and ask how she's doing at work. She blames it on a lack of sleep, and then recounts some strange nightmares she has been having. That night, to her horror and unease, she hears the dress in the closet shifting. Sheila tries to return the outfit to the store the very following day, but is turned down since she can't find her receipt. She makes many attempts to return it, but to no avail, so she simply takes it back. As the days go by, Sheila's life takes a dark turn as a result of the clothing. She starts having horrific nightmares and hallucinations, which make her more and more nervous. Then, Sheila makes plans for dinner with Zach one evening. She's on her way to meet him, but is startled when she sees a suspicious mannequin by the side of the road. Unfortunately, Sheila loses her balance, crashing her car, and dies tragically. Perhaps the same red outfit in the boot of the car was to blame. The red dress then mysteriously escapes the car and hovers through the air, as though gazing in delight at her lifeless body. A few days later, the identical red dress appears as a woman is pursuing the clothing at a thrift shop, but she decides not to purchase it. A man then abruptly picks up the dress, puts it in his car with some veggies, and speeds off. It is then revealed that the dress even caused the fresh veggies to rot. We are then introduced to Reg Speaks, a washing machine repairman who receives the red dress as a joke to wear to his bachelor party. His friends purposefully soak his other clothing and compel him to wear the red dress, dance in it, and drink large amounts of booze. The next day, he feels sick as a result of the booze and the dinner he had. Moments later, Babs, Reg's fiancée, discovers a particular rash on his chest while she is cuddling up to him, but he also ignores it. Later on at work, one of Reg's coworkers tells him that their manager is calling to complain about not having been invited. However, he just stares at him viciously rather than scolding him verbally. The next day, Reg visits a client's home to fix a washing machine, but the woman instead tries to tease and entice him. He doesn't pay attention to her though and keeps working. After a while, when he starts to explain the issue with the machine in response to her question, it sends her into a mysterious trance. Back at Reg's home, the red dress begins to hover in the air and seems to be staring at Reg and Babs later that night as they sleep. The following day, Babs tries on the dress and takes a liking to it. Surprisingly, the dress seems to both fit Reg and Babs, despite the two being different sizes. She then chooses to keep it, but decides to wash it before wearing the dress. However, like Sheila's, Babs' washing machine also malfunctions. The next day, while washing the red dress, Reg tries to repair the washing machine since he is a repairman himself. When Babs asks about the machine's problem, he tries to clarify it, but as soon as he starts talking in terms of the machine, Babs appears to fall into a mysterious trance as well. Now, Reg receives a call from his manager and is scolded for repairing his own machine without authorization. Furthermore, his manager takes his ID, chews it, and swallows it for inexplicable reasons. Later on that evening, the same type of rash that Reg has on his chest is also seen on Babs' chest, and she also begins to experience strange dreams and nightmares similar to Sheila's. In addition, while they are sleeping at night, the red dress mysteriously flies up to their pet parrot's cage, covering it. The next day, the oblivious Reg and Babs' pet parrot inexplicably passed away at night, but they believe it's due to carbon monoxide poisoning, so Reg and Babs plan to check for carbon monoxide poisoning, and Babs puts the boiler on. Now, Reg decides to visit the bank where Sheila had worked in search of a loan with a reasonable interest rate. He then meets Stash and Clive, and the three engage in some brief small talk. He also explains to them that he has been having trouble sleeping and is therefore not feeling well. Stash and Clive offer their encouragement and show their support for him. With this, Reg starts to explain how he had a dream that his fiancée, Babs, was giving birth, but the doctors would not let him in. Watching Babs in such severe pain, he tried to scream in an attempt to minimize her suffering. Finally, his baby emerged, but the girl was wearing the same red dress. And when he tried to wave at his child, the little girl flipped him off instead. After a while, Stash and Clive oddly urge him to roleplay as a washing machine repairman. Reg struggles to communicate clearly when put under pressure, but the two bosses encourage him to give it another shot. Then, as soon as he begins referring to machines as living beings, Stash and Clive also fall into a mysterious trance. Back at home, Babs wears the same red dress to visit Dentley and Soper's in the evening. She is scolded by Mrs. Luckmore for shopping so close to closing, but the shop owner urges Miss Luckmore to let her stay. Meanwhile, Reg returns home and watches TV while relaxing on the couch. However, he abruptly becomes entranced by a Dentley and Soper's TV commercial. Completely unaware that Babs has left the boiler on, he eventually succumbs to carbon monoxide poisoning brought on by his own boiler, slowly suffocating to death. Returning to the store, Babs tells Mrs. Luckmore about a disturbing dream she had in which she was the business's catalog model, but gradually grew thinner and was buried there. A few seconds later, Bab enters the changing room, but a fight breaks out between a few customers, which soon escalates into looting. Meanwhile, the dress escapes Babs' changing room and lands on a heater inside the shop. As a result, the clothing catches fire, which quickly spreads throughout the store. Unfortunately, Babs passes away in a fire in her changing room, while Miss Luckmore flees through the trap door carrying a severed mannequin. Then, Sheila, Reg, and Babs, as well as the dead store model, are seen sewing the dress together with blood-filled threads as Miss Luckmore makes her way further into the store. She also notices other unsupervised sewing machines that are presumably for the people who would eventually wear the dress. And as the movie comes to an end, a fireman passes by the ruined store and discovers the dress hidden among the wreckage. Please make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching.